Good evening, you're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, we find out how Grimsby Town Football Club are helping youngsters, and we go to a cheese producer to find out the secret of their success. And joining me in the studio are two winning poetry reciters, Alexander Henderson and Asher Taylor. Welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Richards. First of all, it's over to Richard Morris for the news headlines.
Hello there. Police are appealing for information after a fatal road traffic collision on Humberston Road in Cleethorpes. One man died and another has sustained serious injuries after the incident, which happened at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. A Honda Accord left the road and hit the gatepost of a property and a vehicle parked on the driveway of the address. The 45-year-old later died of his injuries. A 26-year-old who was in the passenger seat is in Hull Royal Infirmary, where his condition is described as critical but stable. Anyone who witnessed this collision or saw the Honda Accord before the crash is asked to contact Humberside Police. The Force are also reminding people of the importance of hiding Christmas presents in their vehicles. Every year, opportunist thieves break into cars in the hopes of getting some of the presents from parked cars, and the Force are already reporting that there have already been cases of this happening this year. They are reminding people to remove anything valuable from visible sight in cars and to park in busy locations. Don't leave coats in view, as these to criminals could be hiding something valuable underneath. Humberside Police have also launched a virtual advent calendar to help people keep safe in the run-up to Christmas. For most of us, Christmas is a time of plenty, but for the poorest people in our society, it can be the hardest time of year. That's according to a charity worker in Grimsby who is collecting for special care packages to give to hard-up people struggling during the festive period. The Christian Action Resource Enterprise operate a food bank all year round, but give out special gifts and advent calendars in December, and they've expanded their operation into Immingham this year. They're now looking for donations.
This time of year is probably one of the hardest that we see. We do have people that come into our reception that break down in tears because they are at such a crisis point in their lives. And I suppose Christmas almost, if you like, tops them over the edge. We have families that come to us during the winter that are struggling to feed their children and have to make the decision, do I heat my home or put food on my table? So then add to that presents and peer pressure from obviously children in the playground and sharing what each other have got at Christmas. It can be quite a challenge.
That's all from me. Bye for now.
Thank you, Richard. Grimsby Town Football Club is helping youngsters in our region to get into one of the fastest growing sports of the decade. Teenagers are flying high in the Futsal League, with the club's Sports and Education Trust offering hands-on training. Our reporter Erica Barker went back to the classroom to see what's out there to inspire budding players.
Teenagers hard at work, but this isn't any school setting. Grimsby Town Football Club's Sports and Education Trust offers vocational training at the ground, as the BTEC Level 3 equivalent to 3 A-levels isn't just classroom-based. They train in a futsal programme with weekly match days. Futsal is a fast-paced five-a-side game, normally played on a flat indoor pitch with hockey-sized goals, officially recognised by both UEFA and FIFA, with Grimsby crowned national champions earlier in the year. And the game seems to be going from strength to strength.
At this time in this country, the progression routes in futsal aren't that great because it's not professional yet, but the thing is, the sport's grown massively. It's the fastest growing sport in the world at the moment. They've obviously got the educational route and they've got the coaching route as well, so it just gives them more opportunities when they're finished here.
I think it's good because it's a fast-paced game. You get a lot of touches on the ball, and it develops you more as a player rather than if you was playing 11-a-side, because you're sometimes just jogging about and stood still. Whereas in futsal, you're always moving.
It's very competitive. It's a lot more fitness than what I thought it would be. You're constantly getting touches, techniques, and that lot you have to work out. I don't know, it's just an amazing game, I think.
It's fun, fast tempo, a lot of your ball, so you have to have better ball control.
But the Trust says it isn't just about learning on the pitch. After completing the course, Jack Blandell gained a place on the club's foundation degree in sports coaching.
It offers them an opportunity to get involved with a professional club in a professional sort of setting, and it enables them to play football competitively all around the country to a reasonably high standard.
It's grown since its inception in 1985, where I think it'd be fair to say it was a bag of footballs over the shoulder and off you go and play football with primary age school children, to now we're involved specifically over 4 strands: sports participation, which is what we've always done, but now we include inclusion activities, education activities and health activities as well.
And it seems Grimsby is helping to lead the way when it comes to getting youngsters involved in this ever-growing game.
Erica Barker with that report. You're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, the Reverend Ian Robinson joins us for Reflections.
He wrote, "Dear shepherds, please come to Bethlehem to see the baby Jesus. By the way, you'll find him in a hutch."
And Dan Kemp will be bringing us the sport. The Bradley Youth Festival was held the other week. The festival encourages young people to do drama, music and speech and is a showcase for talent. This year, to commemorate the outbreak of the First World War, entrants read out war poetry. Joining me are Asher Taylor and Alexander Henderson, who took part in the festival. Asher, Alexander, welcome to you both. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
You were both reading out war poems, I believe, weren't you? Asher, which poem did you read?
I was reading Conscious by Wilfred Owen.
And Alex?
And I was reading Anthem for Doomed Youth, which is also by Wilfred Owen.
And I was quite wrong to say reading, of course, because you were reciting the poems, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
And I think I'm right in saying that there was an element of competition here. And Alex, how did you do?
I came second.
You came second. And Asher, how did you
I
do?
came first.
Did you? Okay, but you still get on fine. The competition hasn't split you up too much. These poems are quite sad, aren't they? And they're also very serious about awfully tragic events. Do you think it was a good idea to have a competition between the poems? Alex?
I think in some classes it's a good thing because people want to do better than others and that. But in certain classes like this, I think maybe it could just be an occasion where everyone reads the poems and there's no competition. It's just a
just a remembrance, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, you were saying, I think that it's an aspect of it was just as a mark of respect.
Yeah, because everyone's a winner for this, because everyone's just wanted to pay their respect to the people that were in the World War I and who lost their family. And so it's nice to pay the respect about it.
You must have, in order to understand these poems, understand what the war is as well. Have you been studying the First World War at school at all, and what it was like in those horrible trenches, Alex?
Yeah, we certainly did a lot of it in last year, and it was quite, it's brutal really. It's a really sensitive issue.
You've seen those horrible pictures, Asher, all that mud, all those dead bodies.
Yeah.
It's grim, isn't it? I tell you what, it must have been even worse when all your junior officers are wandering around spouting gloomy poetry at you all the time. I think it might be time to hear the poems. Who wants to go first? Alex, will you go first?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Yes, please.
What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries now for them. No prayers, nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs. The shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds.
Very powerful understanding of that poem, Alex, and putting some real understanding and passion in there as well. Follow that, Asher. Will you give us yours?
Yeah. His fingers wake and flutter up the bed. His eyes come open with a pull of will, helped by the yellow May flowers by his head. The blind cord draws across the window sill. What a smooth floor the ward has. What a rug. Who is that talking somewhere out of sight? Why are they laughing? What's inside that jug? Nurse? Doctor? Yes, all right, all right. But sudden evening muddles all the air. There seems no time to want a drink of water. Nurse looks so far away, and everywhere, music and roses burnt through crimson slaughter. He can't remember where he saw blue sky. More blanket, cold, he's cold, and yet so hot. And there's no light to see the voices by. There is no time to ask. He knows not what.
Well, good Lord, thank you very much. It's astonishingly powerful stuff. Crimson Slaughter, that's a line you don't forget, isn't it? Let's be a bit more cheerful now, shall we? The Arts Festival is a terribly important idea. It's the Bradley Arts Festival. Where was it held?
It was at the Grimsby Town Hall.
And why was it so important to get, an awful lot of people involved. Why is it so important to celebrate arts and the contribution that young people, that the youth can make to arts and give them an opportunity to show off? Did you enjoy it, Asha?
Yeah, it was lots of fun because I love doing acting and I like doing different pieces. But it's nice that you can see everyone, so then you can see what you can improve on as well. See I'll try and do what she's put in there and everything. And it's nice to watch other people as well, so they get to watch you and you get to watch them.
And what other sorts of things? There's poetry and readings, Alex. What else was going on there?
Well, there's other elements of acting, like there's an acting class, a prose class where you read extracts from books. There's also sight reading, which is another important thing.
Sight reading music?
Sight reading. There's a sight reading music class, I think, but I did the acting one. And I think that's important because especially some auditions or whatever, you might just be given a script and then told to perform. So it's a great skill that the festival teaches you.
Absolutely, and it gives you a great deal of self-confidence. Once you've been able to give a reading like that in front of a bunch of strangers, then there's not much you can't do. Ashley, do you know when the next one's going to be? Will there be another one?
Yeah, there'll be one in 2015 and 2016.
And where will they be? Are they both going to be at Grimsby Town Hall again?
Yeah.
And how can people get involved, Alex? Do you know? What do you have to do to take part?
Just have to contact the festival and then apply for the classes that you want to apply for. Like, first you get a syllabus, and then you can look at the classes, because there's lots of them, and you just pick whatever you want to do.
Well, people can find out. Thank you both very much for wonderful readings of those poems, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
When it comes to cheese, there's one local company who have won many titles, including the prestigious title, and they are Coat Hill Cheese near Market Raisin. They've expanded since their start in 2005. The latest award has put them in cheese gold. Dave Nunn went to meet the family behind the rind.
Many farmers these days use their land or livestock in dual roles. Just under a decade ago, some dairy farmers in Lincolnshire followed suit, and it was the start of a journey that would catapult them to fame.
We started to make cheese because we've been dairy farmers for over 40 years, and 10 or 15 years ago the milk price was not very good at all. We're a small dairy herd, 80 cows. We weren't getting enough money for our milk, and it was difficult to make a living from that, so we thought we ought to try something different, and we came up with the idea of making cheese, and our first batch of Coat Hill Blue was made January 2005.
Coat Hill Blue has matured since 2005. Now it is a world record-winning cheese, winning a Super Gold Award at the 2014 World Cheese Awards, making it one of only 62 cheeses in the world to win this award.
I think it is a unique cheese. It's made from unpasteurised milk. The milk comes straight from the cows in the morning, so I start milking at 6 o'clock. The milk goes straight into the cheese vats, and then by 11 o'clock it's in the moulds. It's raw milk. It's got its own unique flavour.
It may be tempting for dairy farmers to bring their own cheeses to the ever-growing board of British cheese, but Coat Hill say cheese making is a process akin to wine making.
It's not for everybody. Cheese making is challenging. It's an organism. It's a process that has many variables in it. It's difficult to be sort of in control all the time. So the variation in temperature, of course, the variation in your milk supply from winter summer milk, that all can have an effect on the cheese and you know, as you're going through the making process. So it's not an easy option.
Coat Hill has been a fantastic success, and with Michael's son Joe's Coat Hill Linden being named Britain's best new cheese of 2014, success seems certain in Coat Hill's future.
And now it's over to Reflections, and this week it's the Reverend Ian Robinson from St Peter and St Paul Church in Caister.
A few days ago I was visiting a school in the Lincoln area. It's a primary school, and like most primary schools at this time of the year, they're busy thinking about Christmas and the end of term festivities. One of the classes I visited, the children were making invitations to send to people who were involved in the Christmas story. They were sending invitations to the kings and the wise men and the shepherds and the innkeeper. One little lad was writing an invitation to the shepherds, and what he wrote amused me, although he was writing it very seriously. He wrote, "Dear shepherds, please come to Bethlehem to see the baby Jesus. By the way, you'll find him in a hutch." Well, of course, we expect people to say they'll find him in a stable or in a manger, but for that little lad, a hutch was the place where the school pet rabbit was living in the playground. And a hutch was an animal shelter, and he knew that Jesus was born in an animal shelter, so a hutch made perfect sense. Now I imagine trying to get Mary and Joseph and the baby and shepherds and wise men and the animals in a hutch would be pretty tight and not very pleasant. Well, surely that's the point of it all. It wasn't very pleasant. Animal shelters are not the cleanest of places, and sometimes they certainly smell, and probably got cobwebs and spiders. So an animal shelter was not the pleasant place we sometimes make it out to be. And that's the point of the Christmas story in many ways. God came to earth to dwell with perhaps the mess of human society, the unpleasant places. And that's the story that we should take on board. God cares for everyone, even those who probably live in hutches.
Now it's time to look back at the weekend's news, and joining me is Richard Morris. Richard,
hello.
Has it been a busy weekend? What's going on?
It has. It's always a busy weekend in North East Lincolnshire, as I'm sure you're aware. We've had a spectacular meteor shower across our region. Apparently, it's going on for the week. Apparently, people could see up to 100 shooting stars per hour, and that started this past weekend just gone. It'll be going all the way on to this weekend. And
what's caused that? What are the shooting stars?
It's the annual week-long Geminid meteor shower, also known as the Geminids. They take place every December, as apparently we go through a debris trail at this particular time of the year. And when
you say we, you mean the planet?
Yes, indeed, the planet. And as obviously all the stuff vaporizes and goes through our atmosphere, etc., you get all these fantastic meteor showers.
And where Geminids suggests that they can be found in the constellation of Gemini?
Yes, I believe so. And apparently it's expected to peak between December the 13th and 14th. And if it's a clear night, it should be between about sort of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m.
Excellent.
Would be a good time to look for these.
Well worth looking for. Another
Indeed.
seasonal story, you've got something about Christmas.
Indeed, yes. Apparently, families living in Hull and East Yorkshire are expecting to spend £476.53 on Christmas this year, which is a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
It's a lot more than I'll be spending.
How much are you spending, Hugh?
Pair of new socks and a cold turkey sandwich. That's my Christmas. Best Christmas I can imagine.
It sounds that sounds fantastic. Yeah, I mean it's nearly £500. It's a lot. It's a lot of money to spend in one go.
Well, people aren't forced to spend this money. Why are they complaining, for goodness sake? It's not compulsory to have a great big burnt-up, foodie present giving, wrapping up Christmas.
I think it's been made worse by Black Friday, Hugh, if I'm honest. I think that's added on about £150 onto everyone's Christmas shopping list because everyone thought, this is an American thing, but we're going to go along and do it anyway.
Well, in that case, they are wrong. Sad story about vandalism in Hull.
Yes, indeed. This follows on from, I think it was about a month ago, we reported on the Orchard Park estate, there was a group of vandals who'd gone round tipping over cars, etc. It was Saturday evening, I believe, and they tipped over quite a few in one go. And this is now thousands of pounds worth of damage to the Splashboat water ride on Holderness Road, and it's going to cost more than £4,000 to put right.
That Splashboat was always very popular, wasn't it?
Yes,
it was a great attraction.
Yes. And they cut the rope, which pulls the boat up from the lake, and among other things. causing further damage.
So the boat is adrift.
Yeah,
like the Flying Dutchman.
I know it's terrible, really, when you think about it.
A little bit more cheerful. Some money's gone to quite a famous church in Lincolnshire to rebuild the building.
Yes, this follows on from Ryby Church, which also has had broadband fitted, which you can find about on in Wednesday's programme because I've done a piece on that.
Right.
Just a bit of promotion there. But yeah, All Saints Church, the Ramblers Church in the Wolds above Walesby, has been given £2,000 for refurbishment and replenishment.
And that's the quinquennial survey. Every 500 years they check, do they?
Yes, it was carried out in 2013.
Thank you, Richard. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the weekend news. Now it's over to Dan Kemp with the sport.
Hull City drew 0-0 at home to West Bromwich Albion in the Premier League. Goalkeeper Alan McGregor saved an early penalty conceded by Jake Livermore. Scunthorpe United and Worcester City must go to a replay in the FA Cup after drawing 1-apiece at Glanford Park. Paddy Madden opened the scoring for the League One side, but Daniel and T equalised for the Conference North outfit just after half-time to force a replay on Tuesday week. And North Ferriby United lost 1-0 at Hyde. Connor Hughes scored the only goal as the Villagers missed a string of chances to score. Back to the FA Cup, and the draw for the third round of the competition takes place in Hull tonight. Last year's runners-up Hull City enter at this stage, along with the rest of the Premier League and Championship clubs, and joining them will be ball number 48, representing Scunthorpe or Worcester. And in ice hockey, Will Frederick got off the mark for the Hull Stingrays as they posted a 5-3 victory over the Coventry Blaze on Saturday night. Eric Galbraith gave the Rays an early lead and went in 2-1 up after the first period. Jordan Meyer then put away this clean finish during a power play, making it 3-2 during the second period, and this deflected strike rounded off the scoring. On Sunday, the Rays pushed the Elite League leaders, the Brayhead clan, all the way despite losing 6-4 in Glasgow. They now sit third in the Gardner Conference and 8th in the Elite League. And Hull KR have confirmed their 13th and final signing ahead of the new Super League season kicking off in February. Former Australian international Terry Campese has signed on a one-year deal at the KC Lightstream Stadium. And that is all for the sport.
Thanks, Dan. That's all from me. Contact us in the usual ways. Email news@estuary.tv or contact us through social media, Twitter or Facebook, or give us a call on 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, goodbye.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. A cold start Tuesday with cloud thickening through the morning, becoming milder but increasingly windy with outbreaks of rain and a maximum temperature of 8 degrees. Wednesday is very windy with gales likely, sunny spells but cold with blustery showers, and rain and hill snow are possible with a maximum temperature of 6 degrees.